Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Glenn Bates.
Michael Fleshman.
We're here, Woods and Bates, and today we're going to talk a little bit about powers of attorney. So, Michael, powers of attorney are something that I recommend to clients pretty frequently, at least weekly. Just give us a little idea of what they are and what different kinds of powers of attorney there are out there.
There are two types of powers of attorneys. There is the power of attorney for property and the power of attorney for healthcare. And each one of those documents is signed off by a principal. So that would be the individual that's requesting the power of attorney. So in that document, you will name an agent, and that agent will take care of some of your affairs if certain events happen. So maybe you can kind of talk about the timing of when a document would become effective and when it would terminate.
Yeah, so powers of attorney name that agent to act for you while you're alive. You know, we've talked about wills, and wills only take effect when you're deceased, but an agent's going to be able to do property or healthcare related matters for you while you're still alive. And there's different ways that you can make powers of attorney effective. You can make them effective immediately. You can make them effective upon the occurrence of incapacity as determined by a doctor. Typically, my recommendation, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, would be that we make them effective immediately so that we don't ever have an issue where there's a question as to whether or not the document's effective. So the goal of the powers of attorney is to hopefully have somebody that can take care of your finances and your medical decisions while you're alive if you can't do it. Healthcare power of attorney also has some decisions within it about life-sustaining treatment. You know, whether or not you want that to be provided and who's supposed to make that decision when and if the time comes. An agent can be anyone on those documents. It can be a friend, a relative, but it has to be somebody that you trust with those types of decisions, because they're going to be handling your property and they're going to be making important healthcare related decisions for you. You agree with most of that?
Yeah, so typically in the documents that I draft, most time it's husband and wife come in and they want to take care of getting a power of attorney for property in place, so that the spouse of each other can take care of financial affairs if one of the individuals becomes incapacitated. And I would agree with Glenn that usually we want those documents to become effective immediately so that we can have that seamless transition into the agent taking control. In case an unfortunate event happens, then we don't have to go through that extra step of having a doctor certify that the individual is in fact incapable of making their own medical or financial decisions. So keep in mind that agent that you appoint in that document, they will be acting as a fiduciary to you, so they owe you certain duties to protect and preserve your estate if it's power of attorney for property. And obviously with the power of attorney for health, that agent has the duty to follow your directions in that document, which there are multiple decisions regarding life-sustaining treatment.
I think that's right. I think that these are documents that I usually bring up when we're talking about wills and estate plannings for clients, because much like a will, the client has to be of sound mind in order to sign these documents also. So too often I see that, you know, people come in and they want powers of attorney for mom or dad or relative or something like that, and that person has gotten past the point where they would understand signing a document like that. So unfortunately they're not able to do it at that point, and their only option is guardianship, which we discussed previously. So these types of documents hopefully make things easier for your loved ones when and if the time comes that you need to use them. And, you know, at some point we're probably all going to be there.
Yes, so I would strongly suggest you get those documents in place much sooner than later. As Glenn mentioned, if it comes up a situation where if your father is all of a sudden been diagnosed with, let's say, dementia or Alzheimer, and now the children want to help take care of dad's estate, pay his bills on his behalf, their only option really is to go to the courts and petition for guardianship, which is a lengthy process. It's more time consuming and more expensive. So a little forward thinking and estate planning today might save some money and some time in the future. And in all reality, it saves the family some of the stress involved with making some of these decisions. If you have these documents in place, it kind of relieves any of that burden on your loved ones, as Glenn mentioned. So
It's a lot of heartache.
yes, it is.
Speaking of heartache, we got the Final Four this weekend.
I think
Sparty's still alive.
I think I've mentioned Cassius Winston in the past, but if you watch number 5 for Michigan State, he reminds me a lot of Paul Pierce. I think Sparty's going to be playing Virginia in the championship. Either way, it's going to be a good story. I think it'll be a fun weekend. Still not impressed with Bruce Pearl.
If we can help or answer any questions, let us know. We'll look forward to the Final Four.
All right. Take care.
Thanks.